Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, we're going to be doing a what's new at the drugstore. So stay tuned for that. But before we get into it, obviously I decided to go dark with my hair again. I feel like the highlight days are not over for me, maybe next summer, but going into the winter and the fall, I was just feeling a change and I missed my roots. I wanted to go back to my natural color. So it took some getting used to at first, but I'm super happy with it and really loving it. So maybe this will inspire any of you that have been thinking about going dark for the fall. I'm really happy I did. And with that, let's go ahead and get into the products. All right, first things first, we have some new primers by Catrice, and Catrice makes some of my favorite primers, some of my favorite products. I hate that they're not at Ulta anymore. I feel like they're not quite as accessible, but there's a lot of their products on Amazon, but sometimes it takes a minute for their products to be released to Amazon. So that's what I usually wait for, but Catrice sent me these. So there's 4 new primers in the range, and let's talk through them one by one. First up is the Corrector. This is for red or blotchy skin. Obviously it's green. If you have a discoloration issue, you wanna look at the very opposite end of the color wheel, and that's usually the color that you're gonna use to correct. So for redness, you're gonna want green. It says the benefits are a light green color that neutralizes redness and that it soothes stressed out skin. The key ingredients are cica and allantoin. So I feel like I don't have a whole lot of redness right now, so this isn't something that I would probably reach for, but people with rosacea, people with a lot of red and naturally in their skin, that might be a good option. The next one is the Perfector. This is in like a corally pinky tube. The skin concern is for enlarged pores and uneven skin texture. It claims to have a velvet mousse texture to blur the appearance of fine lines and pores, evens out skin tone, and leaves a soft focused effect. And the key ingredient here is niacinamide. Next up is the Mattifier. So this is for oily skin to minimize shine and reduce the appearance of pores. The Blur Primer is primarily for blurring your pores, whereas the Mattifier is primarily for oil control, but they both help with those 2 concerns. It's just which one is a bigger concern for you. So this has willow bark extract and Evermatte from Sederma. And then last but not least is the Hydrator. This is blue. This is for dry or dehydrated skin. It's supposed to hydrate the skin for a fresh glow and provide a gentle cooling effect to plump the skin, and the key ingredient here is aloe vera. So I think I'm gonna use a combination of these primers today. I've used a lot of Catrice primers in the past. I can't remember if I've used ones like these, but this packaging is definitely very new to me. So I'm gonna go with the Pore Blurring Primer in the center of my face where that's a bigger concern, and then probably go with the Hydrator everywhere else. This one is made with niacinamide. It has a nice like thick texture. It looks like your typical pore blurring primer. If you can see this side of my face versus this side, my pores are definitely a lot less noticeable over here. Go in on this side as well. I feel like if you have dryness, this is definitely not gonna be your best friend. But even with combo skin, I would stick to the parts of your face that are the shinier parts, because I could see how this would easily catch on to dry skin. And the rest of my face, I'm gonna use the Hydrator. This has aloe vera in it. It looks like aloe vera. It's like a nice, thick jelly consistency. Oh, this feels good. And this is gonna be good for like the drier skin type. Almost feels like the Neutrogena Hydro Boost, just really thin, cooling yet hydrating formula. So if you don't like the more lotiony hydrating primers, this, and you like more of like a gel watery type, I feel like you're really gonna like this. And then next up, I'm gonna go in with my go-to foundation lately. This is the Neutrogena Healthy Skin Serum Foundation. I have just been reaching for this over all of my foundations lately. It just feels so weightless on my skin, and that's kind of what I've been into. And I'm not self-tanned right now. I have the shade Medium 1, and I feel like no matter how you apply this with a brush, with a sponge, it just goes on so nicely. All right, next up is a new concealer that I have been obsessed with. Dare I say this is my new favorite concealer. It reminds me a lot of the Honest concealer that I fell in love with this year, but it's slightly different and it's slightly more affordable. And it is the new Covergirl Simply Ageless Triple Action Concealer. If you like really thin, natural, lightweight concealers that are not going to dry out your under eyes, not unflatter your under eyes, this is such a good concealer. The only thing I don't like about it is the wand. It has this ceramic wand meant to be cooling and depuffing. I just find that it doesn't pick up a whole lot of product and is quite annoying. But outside of that, it's an amazing formula, and it kind of prevents you from applying too much. It claims to be lightweight, medium to full coverage with a radiant finish. I'd say I agree with that other than the full coverage. I don't think you could get this to total full coverage. It has a hyaluronic complex, vitamin C, and niacinamide. And from the name is obviously targeted for more mature skin, but I think this could work for all skin types. I'm just gonna apply a small amount. I find a small amount is all you need with this product. because the coverage is really nice, and then you can kind of build it from there. And I've tried all kinds of ways to blend this out, and finger is by far the best. I know it can take a little bit longer sometimes, but I feel like it looks the most natural and is the most flattering on the under eye area. You can see that just concealed most of my under eye issues, but it still just looks like skin. It still looks really natural, really healthy, which is exactly what you want out of an everyday concealer that's gonna be in the natural light of day. And then I'm gonna put a small amount on my eyelids. Actually, that will probably be enough for both eyelids. Put a small amount just to kind of conceal the discoloration before eyeshadow. I'm just gonna quickly set everything. Okay, next up, we have a product I've tried to use a couple of times, but it hasn't worked out, so we're gonna give it another try. And it is the e.l.f. Soap Brow. Before I go in with that, I'm just gonna fill in my brows a little bit with my NYX Micro Brow Pencil. All right, I went ahead and finished the rest of my base makeup while I was at it because our lawn people just got here, so I'm hoping I've got some time before they started doing the leaf blower. The first time that I tried to use this e.l.f. Soap Brow, I didn't wet it, and I think that's why it didn't work so well for me. So I'm gonna take some of this Physicians Formula Essence of Healthy and just get this a little bit damp, and then take the Morphe spoolie that I got with that Morphe brow gel and really coat the brush and try and comb this through. Okay, this spoolie is like falling apart, so 0 points for the new Morphe spoolie. Let's use one of my Amazon ones and comb it through. I feel like this is doing a good job of not putting any buildup in my brows, and it actually really feels like it's lifting them. Look at that lift, and there's really no residue. That's what I'm looking for. If you guys saw my What's New at the Drugstore where I tried the Morphe gel and I tried the Ulta Brow Laminator, it was just weighing my brows down. I feel like because this is like a soap brow situation, it's really light, but the trick is to wet the product a little bit and then use a clean spoolie. All right, next up for eyeshadow, I have a couple new eyeshadow palettes that I've been testing. This one's relatively new. I've been passing by it so many times and I finally picked it up. It's these new Revlon quads. They're like the new reformulated version of their quads. And I would say they're definitely better. I've been playing around with this one. They're definitely better than they used to be, but they're still just not great. Like, you can't compare this to the e.l.f. Bite Size palettes. You can't compare this to the Wet n Wild ones. I think it's better, but it's not at the level of the rest of the drugstore makeup eyeshadows. So I'm not gonna be using this one because there's another one that I wanna use, and it's new from NYX. This is the NYX Ultimate Edit. I feel like the NYX prices have been really climbing, especially their really big eyeshadows. They're kind of climbing up towards the $20 mark. So it was nice to see this one. I wanna say it was like $7 online. It was nice to see this type of option from them. I got the shade Ultimate Queen. I'm gonna start with this lightest shade right here in my crease and just kind of build from there. All right, next, I think we should just go for it. And I'm gonna take this really cool, almost glittery color and put that all over my lid. Oh, wow. It's like duochrome. Now this is comparable to the e.l.f. Bite Size, and I feel like it's priced really well. This shade is super cool. Okay, next I'm gonna take this darker transition color right here through the crease. It's a little bit higher than my crease to make my lid look a little bit larger than it is. And on my lower lash line. And then I'm gonna take this lighter shade right here and put that in my inner corner and maybe pop some of this in the middle of my lid. And then I'm just gonna use this small angled brush. This is the one I used in my last video. This is the Sigma winged liner brush. It's a little bit more of an expensive brush, but I think it's such an easy winged liner brush to use with any eyeshadow. And I think I'm gonna mix this black and brown and create a wing with that. All right, first impression, really, really impressed by these. I wanna see what other color options there are, maybe pick up a couple more. I think just to keep in the theme with the Simply Ageless line, I'm gonna go in with the Simply Ageless Plumping Mascara. I've talked about this in another What's New at the Drugstore. It's not my favorite mascara, but I can definitely see how people would like it if you want a really natural looking mascara. It also has a hyaluronic complex in it. It has like lash growing serum in it. So it's supposed to act as not only a mascara, but a serum as well. So we love a multi-purpose makeup product. Keeping it pretty minimal because, dare I say, I may go in with lashes, which I never do anymore, but Kiss sent over some of their new lashes and their new lash glue. This is the Lash Couture Masterpiece. These are so intense. I'm very intimidated by these because I don't typically wear lashes, and these are long. These are supposed to be one of a kind Luxe Lash Most Mink-like. They're hand woven faux mink lashes. It looks like the Haute Couture is is like the most intense. And then we've got Avant-Garde, which is also really intense. And then Pret-a-Porter, which looks like the most wispy. Ow. It says that they are reusable as long as you care for them. Really nice packaging here. I don't have any tweezers up here, so this could be interesting. But these have a really thick band, so I'm gonna need to get really close to my lash line. And the first thing I'm gonna do is just measure them. They really do feel like make. So these are gonna be pretty long for me, so I'm gonna need to cut a decent amount off. All right, that looks to be a better size. So now let's go in with their 30% stronger adhesive. They've got black, just got this hanging out here, black and clear. I'm gonna go in with the clear since I don't have like a thick black liner on right now. And this is supposed to be new and stronger hold. So we'll see if this makes the application process any easier, like if it sticks down in the middle a little bit better than usual. Okay, so I'm gonna let this dry for about 30 seconds before I apply. All right, it's been about 30 seconds, so now I'm just gonna press these down on my lash line. Press it down in the middle first, and then the outer corner. I really feel like I need some tweezers. And then the inner corner. Okay, these actually don't look super intimidating once they're on. They're just quite long. And I did find the application process a little bit easier. Like once I pushed it down in my inner corner, it stayed pushed down, whereas usually it pops up a lot of different times. Also, I found tweezers, so that helped a lot. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. For someone that hasn't worn lashes in a very long time, I feel like I didn't totally fail at that. I think it is missing some eyeliner to kind of marry it all together. So lesson learned. All right, next up is the CoverGirl Simply Ageless Lip Liner. I think I'm gonna go in with the shade Elegant Nude. And this has that kind of triangular shape to it. Really nice kind of thick packaging. And then that triangular, actually this is more of a line than a triangle. It's like a thicker line. Usually these kinds of shapes are annoying to me, but we'll see how this one goes. Okay, this is actually so creamy. And I think this line shape is a lot easier to use than the triangle. So this is supposed to be a lip flip liner. You're supposed to be able to overdraw your lips, which was really easy to do. This also has the hyaluronic complex in it for hydration. Really pretty formula. Okay, moving on to the lipstick, I'm gonna use the same shade. This is Elegant Nude 150. This also has the hyaluronic complex, and you can see in the middle, there's like a lip balm in the center to hydrate your lips as well as give them some color. I wore this in another shade, in the coral shade, over the weekend. Feels like a classic lipstick, but more hydrating, and it actually lasted a really long time on me. All right, and then to top it all off, I'm gonna use this lip oil. This is by ColourPop. This is the Luxe Lip Oil in the shade Across the Galaxy, and it's infused with lip-loving blend of antioxidant-rich chamomile and candelilla oils to nourish and moisturize your pout. Let's see if this kind of ties in the eyes a little bit. Ooh, just glides right on. It feels very thin, very nourishing, and it added just like a tiny bit, obviously it added the shine, but it also added like a tiny bit of shimmer. All right, and that is everything. I hope you guys found this video helpful. Give it a thumbs up if you did, and I will see you guys in my next one.